Time Well Spent by Sweet Berry. Twilight Sparkle spent every day the same as the last, studying in the Canterlot Royal Library. Although if you had asked her, she would have told you that she sometimes studied in the archives, which was clearly different. The other ponies who attended Princess Celestia's school, Twilight's peers, had long since given up trying to befriend the grouchy scholar. She hadn't cared all that much. Twilight held fast in her belief that friends were not important. It would not change her mind until signs showed otherwise. Miss Sparkle simply did not see the merits of wasting time on such frivolous things. Spike, her dragon assistant, had sickened of being forgotten for studies and had gone off to learn about his origins, leaving Twilight alone. Celestia watched worriedly as she began to lose sight of a purpose in her life. Twilight was a bright pony, a genius most likely, but many feared she was out of harmony with the world. She treated the books as if they were her last chance to find happiness and fulfillment in life. Studying is what seemed to complete Twilight and bring her back from what seemed to be a depression. At the turn of the century, she threw herself into her studies with a renewed vigor. She learned everything there was to know about magic, even creating some spells of her own. Twilight Sparkle grew older, becoming known throughout the land for being an extremely powerful unicorn. She was elevated from Princess Celestia's student to her personal advisor and companion. All the young scholars hungered for her job and knowledge. She was an inspiration to the nation's young and bright minds. She funded scholarships, gave speeches at schools, and even held conferences to help scholars and teachers alike reach her level of learning. She grew old, as so many do, dying a peaceful death of old age with only Celestia at her bedside. On her final breath, she whispered these words in a dry, shaking voice.
I swear there was meant to be more to life than this.
These were the words of regret, desperation. A dying mare pleaded for more out of life and knowledge, for she had been friendless. But wait, that isn't what happened! Twilight sat down to the gorgeous banquet with all her friends sitting around her. The joyful chatter filled the air, and Twilight grinned as Spike, once again fond of her rarity. She turned to the head of the table and greeted Celestia and Luna.
It is so wonderful of you to have planned this banquet so we could spend time with our friends, Princess.
She looked down at the table at all her friends, the ponies she so loved. They were more than friends to her. They were family. Celestia simply smiled serenely, calmly replying, "It's nothing, Twilight. I enjoy you and your friends' company as much as you enjoy it. And it's just Celestia. We're equals now, remember?" Celestia playfully nudged Twilight's wings, mischief dancing in her eyes for a few moments. Luna nodded in agreement, looking a bit groggy.
It is breakfast for me, but I am quite pleased to be in attendance.
Twilight smiled and laughed with the princesses before turning her attention to her other friends. She had thought a lot recently about what they had done for her and how much they had impacted her life. After her ascension had changed her life, she spent a lot of time imagining what she would be like had she never met her friends. She didn't like the thought. After a moment of deep thought, Twilight stood up.
I just wanted to say how much I love all of you. I know someday we will all part ways, but the memories and the lessons you have given me will be in my heart forever. You have made me the pony I am. I would just be another bitter old scholar without you all. I just cannot express how grateful I am to have learned that there is, indeed, magic in friendship, and magic stronger than any I could have learned from some dusty old book. So, I proposed a toast. She held up her glass, the clear liquid sparkling and shimmering in the candlelight. To all of you! All the gathered ponies held their glasses up to the light, but didn't seem to quite know how to respond, until Pinkie Pie jumped in.
No, you silly goose! To you, Twilight!
Rarity smiled and held her glass even higher.
I second that! To you, Twilight, for you have brought light into our lives and brought us all together.
Rainbow chuckled.
Yeah! Without you, how would we have gotten to go on all these awesome adventures? I wouldn't have become 20% cooler like I am today.
I reckon they'll never forget the memories I've made with y'all since we met. Our friendship is the best thing that could have happened, Applejack said, looks around the table. Fluttershy spoke up, quiet at first, but growing more confident with each word.
I think what they're saying is that the toast should be to our friendship, for making us into the ponies we are today and helping us to be the best versions of ourselves.
She paused.
I mean, that's okay.
Hear, hear! Everyone agreed, clinking glasses and merely taking sips of their beverages. They talked and laughed and joked long into the night, even after Spike fell asleep at the table. Twilight was content knowing that she could look around the table and be happy with all that she had experienced in life so far. She just couldn't wait to go on the next adventure with her magnificent friends and make even more memories.